I'm a guy that's 27. I hate Star Wars Resurrections. Boba died in Jedi. I'm Rich Boy J.
Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here back with another video, and I am so proud to present to you our LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy collab. I have some of the best builders on the planet participating in this to create the levels from LEGO Star Wars 2. We did it last year with the original game, and now we're coming back with the second one, and I just could not be more proud of what we've been able to create here. So you're going to see some awesome builds throughout the game, but before we get into that, I want to show you the main hub that I was able to construct right here. So this hub is most likely Cantina, as you might recognize it. The biggest challenge with recreating this hub is that it's basically a giant circle. So trying to make it one cohesive build that's viewable from many angles was a bit of a challenge, but I opted basically for a half circle. Fortunately for me, most of the important rooms and doors are all situated on one side of it, so I was able to, capture things like the main counter, the main doors, and we got some funny Easter eggs in here. I particularly want to point out this little progress bar right here. If you ever played the game, you'll know it shows you how long you've played it as well as the percentage you've completed the game. So that was a fun little thing to add in there. And we also had a lot of fun just throwing figs all around here. So you'll recognize some figs that are official LEGO figures, and then ones that at the time maybe didn't exist for LEGO that are actually custom ones that are basically what you would see in the game. And if anyone played this game, I'm sure they had a lot of fun with the character creation tool right here. So we have what actually we see in the commercial of the game, Darth Leia. And there's so many wacky and fun things you can create here. At the top real quick, I do want to point out this fun little build right here. These are actually characters you don't see in the game, but rather on the cover of the game. And those are just some custom figures there to really just, complete the entire collaboration and just show what the cover of the video game looked like. So we have no shortage of custom figures here to represent even the most obscure elements of this game. So first we're going to come around here to the outside, and this is where some of the Episode 6 mini kits are. The mini kits are comprised of some official LEGO sets and then a few amount of small customs. So there's a nice mix here. It's honestly kind of like a trip down nostalgia road looking at some of these mini builds that existed back in the day. But all in all, I think that having them all here and situated along the build really does kind of help tell the story of the game, but also the story of the original trilogy. Over here, we have the Episode 4 side of things, so more mini builds. One thing I find particularly humorous is just the size difference in a lot of these. Like we have this big Star Destroyer and Sandcrawler, and then we have this tiny land speeder right here. One of the cooler elements of the outside here are these little chrome builds right here. If you'll remember, you need the bounty hunter bombs to make those explode, so it was fun to include that in this game. Finally, around back, we have the Episode 5 mini builds, and these, once again, comprised of official LEGO sets as well as customs. And then we tried to just replicate all the random little bits that you see hanging out outside of the Cantina. So we have custom versions of the big barrel trash cans that you see, which actually had to be basically like made with multiple pieces rather than the one LEGO piece, because even to this day, the piece does not exist in that color. So when you're doing a collaboration like this, many challenges, even just as like trying to find the right colors, can still exist even, a decade later. So I think that's one of the things that makes this such a fun collaboration, being able to not only tell the entire story of the original trilogy, but also the design challenges that come up when trying to recreate something when game designers pretty much just threw whatever pieces and whatever colors they wanted into the game. So now that you guys have seen the hub, let's go ahead and dive into each level.
Hello everyone, my name is Shane. I go as Cult of Christensen online, and I guess I get the honor of properly starting off the showcase of all these mocks, starting with the first level that you play in the game, which is Secret Plans, the first level of Episode 4. Before we get to that, I decided to make a little scene right here of the Tantive, the mini Tantive they use in the game, and the mini Star Destroyer they use in the game. This is actually a set, and this is actually from the original Star Destroyer, the UCS one. But for my actual mock with figures, this is a kind of the typical look of what the level looks like. I tried to make the walls as accurate to the game as possible. A lot of the elements from the bonus mission from LEGO Star Wars 1, the Tantive level, carry over to the the level in Lego Star Wars 2. So I did that bonus mission last year for the collab, so I was able to reuse elements from that, which was nice. As you could, I don't know if the camera could see it, but there's those little translucent studs back there with shows the lights, which is accurate to the game. I didn't have time to put lights in this, unfortunately. And as you can see, we have some beautiful custom Rebel Troopers, all provided by Ben, aka Playmation. So shout out to him for letting me borrow those. Now on to the second one I've built. The second mock I've built is the next level through the Jutland Wastes, and this is the opening area of that level, where you spawn in, and there's this basically this little pen, this little gated off area, fenced off area of these two banthas. And these two amazing banthas were made by Hilligus on Instagram. And particularly this one was provided also by Playmation, because you'll be seeing, let's just say you'll be seeing a bantha in another level coming up into this video. So these look just amazing. I love how these look. This little sandcastle right here is a little buildable thing you can do right at the beginning of the level, so I wanted to incorporate that. We got the little Womp Rats running around, which are custom. Also, I believe those are from Hilligus on Instagram. And yeah, you got your Luke, you got your Obi-Wan, you got your Tusken Raiders. Both these torsos are actually custom. They're from Fig Fab Labs. And they were also able to provide us a 50% off discount to use their stuff, to use their stuff in this collab, so I really appreciate them for doing that. And yeah, I'm really happy how this turned out.
Hey, what's up everyone? Hunter back again. I have got the Mos Eisley level. I want to say this is chapter 3, I believe. This just basically displays them basically right after the beginning of the level. You go around a curve and you lead up to this door. Luckily, Obi-Wan's basically already force pushed the ramp over. Ben's made his way up, so is C-3PO. He's getting ready to hit that terminal. The tiles for both terminals were very graciously given by Playmation Studios, so huge shout out to him. Then throughout the rest of the build, as you can see, a little bit of Easter eggs. You got a Womp Rat, you've got Gonk Droid, you've got all these different studs getting ready to collect. Overall, I'm really happy with how this turned out, especially around the doorway. I was really pleased with the texturing and how that arrow just works together. As well as seeing all the different sand troopers together, I think it turned out really well. As well as overall figures, I think this worked out really well.
All right, guys, Rich Boy J here, back in with another build. And today I have episode 4, chapter 2. And this was for sure the main reason I wanted to do this collab. This level was really fun, and I think this particular scene was one that stuck with me all throughout my childhood. So this is the scene depicting the kind of bonus room where you go and you hop in this little machinery right here, and you're actually able to operate a crane, and you can grab those stormtroopers, drop them into this hole right here, and if you do 10 of them, you're able to capture a mini kit from this level. There are a few important elements to this build that I think were crucial to implementing. I'm really happy with how the floor design came out here. So those white arrows, iconic to the Death Star, and Lego's sandwich style pieces just work perfectly for that. So I'm happy with how that came out. There's also these little red mini builds. These are ones that you can pick up with the crane and drop them on guys. So that's another iconic part of the game. And then of course, including the so popular episode 5, 2004 Millennium Falcon, that I think just really completes this. And it's a set that meant a lot to me in my childhood, so getting to include it in this collaboration just made it all that more special to me. So I thought this was a really funny part of the level, and I think when the people come in and check this out at the actual convention, they're gonna be like, oh crap, I remember that. I remember using the claw machine to drop those stormtroopers into that Death Star elevator hole. And then over here, we also have a little vignette. This is actually from the same level, but this is another, I think, super recognizable part of the game. These are the helmet dispensers, so you have a character come up, drop this little lever down, and then it dispensers a stormtrooper helmet onto their head. I think this is also just another super recognizable piece to the build. That's actually something that I had as an Easter egg in my Vardos build that I did many years back, but I figured now that I'm finally doing the actual game and level that this appeared in, why not bring it back and be able to show it off?
Hello, my name is Noah, or Comic Breaks on YouTube and Instagram, and this is one of my builds for the collab. It is Episode 4, Chapter 5, Death Star Escape. So, the ragtag team of Luke, Han, and Chewbacca have rescued Princess Leia, and they were able to escape the trash compactor. Now they're trying to get back to the Falcon, and this was very iconic part of the level. It's where you have to use like this yellow speeder to press down these like red squares in order to unlock the door that's on the second level, which I didn't build. This was really challenging for me in the game not to build, so this was pretty nostalgic for me, and I'm really happy with the way all the tiling worked out.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hunter Bailey back again. I have got the last level from the A New Hope levels in that sense. I think it's level 6. We have the trench run. We have 2 of the classic TIE fighters, followed by, Vader's TIE. We also have Luke's Red 5 X-Wing. I wanted to make sure that I incorporated some of the torpedoes, of course, because that is one of the more well-known aspects from that level, is collecting at least 3 of these torpedoes to throw into the Death Star terminal. I also incorporated the trench run cannons, or turrets, if you want to call them. I incorporated 2 lights as well to kind of give that aspect of like it's shooting in air. Again, the lights definitely, I feel like, give it more life into it as well. The actual groundwork of the trench was a fun thing to do to make sure that everything connected correctly and it wasn't as random, because I'm not gonna lie, that level is very flat and very gray. So making it, pop out a little bit more was a little tedious, but a little fun at the same time. But I'm definitely really happy with how this came out, and yeah, I think that's it.
All right, we're finally on to episode 5. This is the Battle of Hoth. This basically depicts the opening cutscene of the first level. As you can see, we got this beautiful trench right here, and then we have these 2003 AT-AT sets, as well as some 2004 Snowspeeder sets. Basically, for the terrain, the snow pattern is basically just some tiles and plates kind of scattered about in a somewhat random pattern. I think it turned out pretty well. And as for this trench, I like to shout out Logan and Ian, whose builds will be coming up later in this video. They helped make this trench and design this. And also shout out to Jay for providing one of his AT-ATs. These 2 are mine, and these snow speeders are mine as well. And we basically just whipped this mock-up in like a day or so at Jay's house before we left. And I really love how it turned out. And I just want to say our hats off to our fallen soldier, Commander Mustache Man. He fought bravely and proudly for the Rebel Alliance and player tab soldiers.
Hey guys, Rich Boy J here again, and I'm here to present to you my bomb dispenser build. This is the source of much of my dismay and anger as a child. If you ever played this level, you know that when you try to get the bombs from the bomb dispenser, this probe droid decides he also wants the bomb, so you gotta take care of many things in this level. This build was mostly just a scaled up version of honestly what are pretty simple pieces. So I used some of these 2x2 round tiles to represent some of the Lego studs. If you play it in the game, it may not look very large, but when you actually scale it to a Lego Snowspeeder set, it ends up being extremely large. So it's a pretty simple build because in the game, it's made of few small pieces, but when you scale it up, a build like this actually gets quite a bit more complicated. We have a few more fun things kind of hanging around this build. So we had this little base vignette that was actually made by another collab member named Logan. He did an excellent job, and if you see this detail right here with the foot indented in the ground, I'm honestly just blown away that he was able to pretty much throw that together in a matter of like 20 to 30 minutes. Got one of the snow speeder bikes right there, and then also one of the satellite turrets that we see a lot of the Rebels use. So I wanted to do this scene primarily because when I played this level, this is one of the things that stuck out to me, using those bombs, trying to wrap up the AT-ATs and then destroy it with that pretty iconic build. So really happy with how it came out, and I think a lot of people are going to come in and recognize exactly what's happening here.
Hi, so I'm Alex, or Alex McBrick, and this is my level. This is the Escape from Echo Base, which is the second level, second chapter in episode 5. So this is the second or third room that you enter when first playing the level. So as soon as you get in here, you see these snow troopers warming their butts on the heater block, which I thought was hilarious and we had to include. So once you kill these guys, you push this block in front of the door, and then the door is covered in ice, and then that melts off, and then you can progress through the level onto the next part. But first, you have all this kind of like break room stuff here. You have the coffee table, and if you pull the levers, then it actually puts coffee into the cups. Obviously, that doesn't happen with this mock. And then you got the tables. You have Han and Leia. This is a custom Han, and I believe this is just the official Leia. And that's kind of it, just a sort of small mock, but I think it's a pretty funny part of the game, and I was happy to include it.
All right, next Hoth mock. So this one's based off the second Hoth level. This comes after this one that Alex built. This is the last area of this mission, where you're supposed to you're in this hangar and you're supposed to unlock the gates to get these tauntauns so you can hop on top of the Falcon and repair it and end the mission. And as you can see here, I built one of the hangars. I would like to shout out Jay for helping me with these angled sections on each side. And I'm very happy how this hangar turned out. Really, it's very clean and smooth, and really happy how it turned out. As for the checkerboard floor, if you don't know, the puzzle, I guess, you're supposed to do is you're supposed to push these two boxes into these things with these kind of, I guess they're like smooth tiles. And as you can see, they're already unlocked because they're green. And we got Mr. Han Solo with the Tauntaun, but unfortunately we got some resistance with the snow troopers. This little turret right here, I built from the game. It's actually crazy that I was able to make this. There's a little bit of illegal technique using this new bar. I had to sacrifice an Exoforce robot hand to make this. And these wonderful, beautiful Tauntauns, I believe the guy is named Hilligus on Instagram. I bought these like a year and a half ago, but finally I got to put them to good use, and I think this is the best build that I did for this collab. I'm very, very happy with it. Now, onto this other one, which I would say is mostly mine. So this is based off the third mission of episode 5. I believe it's called Asteroid Escape or something like that. And this particular, I guess, arrangement is based off the very first area where as the Millennium Falcon, you're supposed to help the Rebel Alliance escape, and you're supposed to destroy all these turrets, these Star Destroyer turrets. And they actually do use these sets in-game, but they're like blown up to like a huge proportion. These mini builds are supposed to be like the actual set, so we use the mini Falcon and TIE fighters for scale purposes. Let's see here. This one was provided by Ben Playmation. He provided a lot of stuff for this collab, so I really appreciate him for doing that. This was, I can't remember his name, but a guy gladly let us borrow this one, so shout out to him. Hopefully I'll remember tomorrow if I get interviewed by Beyond the Brick. But the custom elements of this are these two ships right here. So this is the Nebulon B frigate and the GR-75, which are in Lego Star Wars 2, and these are like brick built in game. So instructions for these don't exist, so I had to basically reverse engineer these models and do them by hand. And I'm particularly proud of the Nebulon B because these bricks right here don't exist in inverted form, so I had to like do some interesting snot techniques to achieve this backwards, the second half of the fuselage. So I'm really proud of how that turned out. And I love the GR-75. This took me a lot less time than making that. As you can see with the little cargo crates right here, I was able to, as accurately as I can, match the colors to the game. There's not as good reference material out there for these models as you would think. So yeah, this little setup is pretty cool, and I'm really glad how it turned out.
Hey everyone, Comic Break's back with another build for the collaboration. So this is episode 5, chapter 5, Dagobah. This is the level where Luke is training to become a Jedi Knight with the help of Master Yoda. And I'm super happy with the way everything came out, especially the bat canister dispenser thing. That was really tricky to build, but I'm glad that I was able to figure out the inner workings of it. And I'm also really proud of this snake because in the game it's comprised of like hinge pieces in brown and tan, and those don't exist. So luckily I used the pin connectors, Technic pin connectors that come in the colors that I needed, so that worked out perfectly. And so as you can see, Luke is jumping from platform to platform, pressing down these red buttons to release more platforms that jet out from the water. And I thought this was like a very iconic part of the level. And then also, I was able to include R2's antenna because when he goes down to the water, his antenna sticks up.
Hi, my name is Andrew, also known as Blue Brick, and I built Chapter 5, Episode 5 of LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. It is the Cloud City Trap. 2 characters, really basic, Luke and Vader, and a special little Easter egg of a print from the game. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Aaron, or 327 Bricks, and I built the Betrayal over Bespin, which is the part of the game where the heroes find out that Han has been turned into carbonite, or see Han turned into carbonite, and are chasing down Boba Fett, who is putting him onto his ship. It's a pretty small mock, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think that the shaping of the sandwich tiles and the facet tiles is really good. I also really like the curved wall because it was a really interesting thing to try figure out how to build, as well as the doors, which is probably what I'm most proud of because they are a bracket on bracket with a headlight brick contraption, which I am never built before, so I was pretty excited to learn how to do that. Other than that, it's a very simple build, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It looks really clean. I love the fully tiled look, and like I said, I just really like the way the door looks and the way the door came out.
Hi, this is Logan, and this is Episode 6, Chapter 1, Jabba's Palace. The scene we have depicted here is at the very end of the level, where you've unlocked all of the characters and you're about to free Han and Carbonite before going into the Rancor pit. This build was made literally a week before the convention started, so I had to source a lot of this pretty fast, and luckily some people came in clutch and gave me some of the parts I need. Overall, it's pretty simple techniques. It's mostly snot. We've got the large pillars in the back, and we've got a bunch of modified bricks to get some slanted wall technique via the hardened carbonite itself. In the terrain on the ground, it's relatively simple, a mixture of headlight bricks, but we do have some sideways panels to get some extra levels of depth to cover the area.
Hi, Playmation Shorts. You can find me on YouTube as well as Instagram as Playmation Shorts. And for our collab this year, I brought the Desert Skiff Mock from the Jabba Sail Barge chapter. Beneath it has the Sarlacc pit from the Jabba Sail Barge Lego set. And then the skiff is custom. It's an upscale version of the actual ship. As you can see, this is the part where they fight Boba Fett. It's the boss level, so it's got his heart meters here. It's not too far along in the level, so they don't have a lot of studs yet. We've got all the figures that it needs here. It's got all the bad guys as well as the good guys. And I have an official Luke minifigure. He's doing like a super slam into the ground and destroyed one of the weak ways. Both of these weak way figures are custom made. And we've got Boba Fett flying over here. I've got some rocket thrusters behind him as well. Old Gamorrean guard, an official Lando shooting up at Boba Fett, as well as Han and Chewie back here. And so for this build, I have a few interesting techniques, getting the angles down for the front of the ship, as well as the hinges going around here for these breakable parts in the game. And there's a lot of interesting curves and angles in this ship, as well as some stickers from the actual Jabba Sail Barge set from 06. And aside from this mock, I also supplied a lot of the minifigures in general, especially the custom ones for our collab, as well as a bunch of the official sets, which you'll see in other people's builds and along the rest of the collab. Really happy with how everything turned out this year. It all looks really great. And yeah, that's everything I brought for this year. Again, Playmation shorts.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Ian, or Axidroid, as some people call me. And here I got the, the Speeder Showdown Chase. This is probably my favorite level from the video game. I think it was just a lot of fun, very, fast and stuff. I try to get lights in this level, as I always tend to do with my mocks. And we'll start with the most obvious thing. Last year I also had the HUD, or the health bar of the figures. Try to do that again, but this time I had to get silver hearts. That's what you have when you're in a vehicle in the game. Also got the custom stickers up with that, and try to get the enemies in there as well. I try to also get a lot of dense foliage this time in Endor. And let's see, so we have some breakable items, breakable things in the game, as this trunk and this these plants. This is also one of the features in the game, is when you can get this mini kit. If you go over this ramp and break it open, you'll get the mini kits. We also have loose studs. That's also very recognizable from the game. Let's see. Other than that, I made these trees with a flex tube inside. Make them a little more sturdy. As you can see, they're a little bit leaning, but I think I like the look of it. Other than that, I guess the last thing I could say is these lattice pieces. These are pretty rare. I think they were like €10 a piece. And I luckily have 4 of them. So that's pretty much it.
Hi, my name is David Hall, or Solid Brick Studios on YouTube. And what I brought here is an Imperial landing pad piece from Endor. So this is from Chapter 3 of Episode 6 of the LEGO Star Wars video game, specifically the Speeder Showdown. It's in conjunction with the mock that you just saw, Axidroid, or Ian's mock. So you basically take those speeders, and when you get to the end of that, you reach this Endor landing pad area. So you're going to be walking up here. You can get this mini kit. You can go into this door. There's multiple ways to enter the pad, but you can go in through here, or you can come up to here to this red brick. Lots of great details down here. We'll go through that in a minute. Nice little Easter egg right here in the middle. There's a nice little stormtrooper area that only stormtroopers can access. I think that's really cool. Anyhow, so you can make your way up to an elevator that takes you to the top of the landing pad, which is where the real part of the level begins. First off, these yellow areas right here, these kind of markings of the landing pad, super hard to build out of Lego. It took a lot of prototyping. But the way the level goes is that what your goal is to actually switch these modules on and off. There's 4 of them. So there's Luke and Leia here. You'll also notice that I have the little heart symbol up here, making it feel like you're in the video game. Shout out to Axidroid for coming up with this idea. It looks so good. It has some printed tiles of the character, so it perfectly matches the minifigures. Very cool. But anyhow, so your goal with Luke and Leia is to turn these switches off, which actually turn off the generator back here. So you'll notice there's 4 generator towers that have shields on them, and so the switches turn off the shields, and once the shields are off, what you're supposed to do is you actually use this catapult here, jump into the AT-AT, and then blow up all the shield towers. Then once you come back to the landing pad, these areas open up, and little switch boxes come out that you're supposed to simultaneously switch on, and you complete the level. So unfortunately, I don't have that function happening, but that is pretty much how it looks in the game. I'm really happy with how these shield towers here look. They came out looking awesome. Unfortunately, the base here, if we come back down to the greenery, it doesn't reach all the way over where the AT-AT or the towers are, just simply because I had to fly. This is my first time coming to Brick World Chicago, so I had to fly here, and so this entire mock had to fit in just one suitcase, so I rebuilt it all here at Brick World, so that was a challenge in itself. These trees right here are actually the exact same trees that I used in my Daro mock, so they're actually being repurposed here on Endor, so I think that's really cool. So if you're a fan of that mock, then that's great. I hope you enjoy seeing them again, and if you came and saw this in person at Brick World, then hopefully that was a little nostalgic for you. I do have, actually I think they took them off, but I do have Ewoks roaming throughout here, but the guys wanted to make it accurate because you don't see any Ewoks in the game around this area. But there is Ewoks that take these paths that I built here, and a lot of great little greenery, utilizing some new pieces down here. But yeah, this whole mock came out looking really awesome. Got this done in a week, just in time for Brick World, so had a great time.
So this is Chapter 4, and this is the Battle of Endor. So this is the first platform when you first come into the game, or into this level. So it takes all 6 characters to get in here. And you first start off here There's some stormtroopers there. We got Wicket, which is a custom figure. Then we got Chewbacca, Han, also a custom figure. I have him up in the air because he's doing his double roll that he always does. And then we got R2 on the platform. And so as we go along, this is basically just the entire battle all in one kind of area. So it's kind of condensed for what it should be, but that's okay. So this is a custom build, which is the tractor from the game. And so you come into this area, you break these fences, you build this tractor, and then you bring it here, and you have to run over these carrots, and then you break them. So if you've played the game, you probably recognize that. We got the river with the mini kit, which is kind of floating there. And then we have this awesome custom ATST, which is really cool. And so you use this in the level later on. The bunker would be over here, but obviously I can't really fit all of that. So just imagine the bunker being here. And then basically you just kind of fight your way in here, which is being represented right there. And that's kind of it. I'm pretty proud of this. I really like the different tree designs I was able to do, especially this big tall one. That's very Endor to me. But other than that, I think that's kind of it.
Hi, my name is Logan, and this is episode 6, chapter 5, Jedi Destiny. I started work on this like a month or two before the convention, and I had to order a bunch of parts like a week before, so it came down to the wire before coming to America, but I think I managed to pull it off. We have the scene of the Emperor Palpatine boss fight. As you can see, we've got some old parts here. We've got old hinges from the early 2000s, and the old style of panels used for the electric consoles on the side. Yeah, that's the rest of the build done. It's not much more to say. It's a pretty self-explanatory build, so.
Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here, back again with another collab build, and I want to be showing you episode 6, chapter 6. This is Into the Death Star. Unfortunately, this was the one that we kind of had to do a little bit last minute, so in terms of detail, it's not as elaborate as some of the other builds, but I do think it gets the point of the level across. This is a part of the level where you're actually flying out of the Death Star 2, so we have the 04 Millennium Falcon, and we got a couple of custom figures in the cockpit, that being Lando Calrissian and Nine Numb. So nice little custom figures we could include there. And the point of this really was just to kind of capture as much of the weird kind of scaffolding, tubing inside of the level. So we have the tubes going up the walls, and as they're actually kind of holding up these little structures right here that we see on the bottom as well as the top. We have some of the scaffolding that you end up having to shoot to go through to get out of the level. And then I also was able to include some of the dark red tubes down the bottom if you really get down there. So while this is something that we did end up having to put together here at the convention, I think it came together fairly well enough. It gets the point across, and I think for anyone who has played the game or has seen Star Wars Episode 6, you'll be able to recognize, oh, that's when the Falcon is flying out of the Death Star 2.
All right, for my final build, which is also the penultimate build of this collab. Last year we had Dead May. This year we have Burnikin. So if you remember, if you watched the video from last year, I made a little joke build of Padme's death from how it was portrayed in the first game, and I decided, hey, let's do a similar build to that what I did last year. So context: this is the final cutscene after the last level of Episode 6, just like in the movie. Luke burns Vader's body, but in this cutscene, Anakin's ghost decided to stand on top of the corpse and say hi to Luke, and Luke says hi back. And yeah, that's basically what I built. I'd like to say again, thank you to Playmation for providing the ghost figures for this silly little build. And yeah, I made this in like 15 minutes, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's pretty funny.
Hey, my name is Francis, and this is my build. So, this is the original trilogy Lego City. So pretty much, this is like a secret level in the game. So, to start on the front, you'll see this normal Tatooine part. It kind of looks like the hub that you probably looked at earlier, but see this big question mark. This is supposed to kind of be like the main lobby kind of thing. So you have like a bunch of characters just roaming about, and then the idea is you're gonna walk into here, and then you're in Lego City. So this is like a secret level in the game. Not everyone knows about it, but kind of have some funny stuff going on. Like we have this stormtrooper just riding this guy. We have like a road. It's kind of funny to see Star Wars characters in a city environment. And then another thing I included in my build, I made this little sign right here. I actually printed out like the crawl that you see in the game. I put it on yellow font, which is kind of neat. But yeah, that's my build.
All right, guys, we finally have shown you the episode of Rich Boy J. We have the original trilogy Lego Star Wars game, all these wonderful builds retelling the story of the video game as well as Lego Star Wars 2. Once again, I just could not be more proud of all the awesome people I got to work with on this project. There's so many incredible builds here. We really stepped it up in terms of scale, and you guys are just gonna have to wait to see what we do next. We already have outdone ourselves. This is so many times bigger than what we did last time, and I'm sure we'll have something super special for you guys next time. So if you like what I do, go and support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.